How tough can a 76-year-old gangster be? Someone touched his daughter. He didn't even say a word. He just did it. The people around him were dumbfounded. They couldn't even breathe. They could only watch as their teammates were trampled to death by the old gangster. That was Jack's way of doing things. Then Jack went to his daughter's flower shop. Lily saw the blood on her father's hands. She knew it wasn't good. And Jack told her straight away that the idiot who had bullied her had been killed himself. It was hard for Lily to accept this. Whatever she had done to her, Lily didn't think he deserved to die. But Jack had told her he was a gangster. He was a man. And he was a father. Between father and daughter. And I can't make spite, but it's the blood. Lily knew in her heart that she was the bottom line for her father. But to kill with such arrogance, Lily fears the gang will send retribution. Jack was confident of this. He promised his daughter that, even if Peter wanted to get even, he would come to him. He would never cause any problems for Lily's family. Jack had known Peter for decades. He knew exactly what kind of man Peter was. And it turned out to be true. Peter's son had a lot to say about Jack's murder. He wanted to see what the old man's attitude was. But to his surprise, the old man was on Jack's side this time. He felt that Nika deserved it. But this made his son think that this was a disgrace to the gang. Peter's son said, "The big question now is what should we do with Jack?" One of the men suggested that we should just kill Jack. Peter's son said, "We should kill him and his fucking daughter." When he heard his son say that, Peter was instantly angry. It was a basic rule of the old gangsters that you didn't want to do anything to your family. Peter was very disappointed by his son's punk mentality. Peter said to his son straight away that if you had Jack's ability, none of this would have happened. At this time on the Tulsa side, Anna had an appointment with a colleague to meet with an informant. The informant's father was a member of Jerry's gang. She was hoping to use his information to make an arrest for Jerry's illegal possession of a heavy weapon. But what she didn't expect was for the informant to talk about Jack and Jerry going to war over laughing gas. As soon as Anna heard that, she quickly changed the subject and said that the ATF only deals with gunpowder. They don't handle drugs. When her colleague heard this, he said, "You're right, too. Then we should report the situation to the FBI." Back at headquarters, Anna is still trying to figure out what to do. She told her colleague to mind her own business, but her colleague was a stick in the mud. He called the FBI directly and explained Jack's story. Soon Jack was back in Tulsa. As soon as they met, Thomas told him that a lot had happened here, including his arrest. On the way, Thomas explains and goes to find Bobby. But when they arrived, they found out that their marijuana base was closed, and Bobby wasn't answering his phone. That's when Lily gets a call from her daughter's house in New York. But when she got through, there was no voice on the other end. This gave Lily a bad feeling. In the evening, Jack went to the bar and asked Mickey for some information. Then Jack asked Mickey to go with him to talk to Jerry in a few days. Then Jack went back to the hotel. Concerned, he called his daughter again. His daughter told him that someone had called him today. Jack was very upset when he heard this. He told his daughter to tell him immediately if it happened again. Jack then called Andy, the gang's patriarch. Jack asked him straight away if someone was making a move and messing with his daughter. Andy said he didn't know anything about it. Jack said to Andy straight away that more people would get hurt this way. Andy asked Jack straight out how we were going to calm this down.
Get on the next flight out here.
Andy tried to say no. Jack didn't bother to listen and hung up the phone. The next day Anna made an appointment with Jack. He didn't know why Jack had come to Tulsa, but there had been a lot of trouble since he'd been here. Out of their friendship, Anna said the FBI were already investigating him. If Jack had been caught because she was close to Jack, it could cost her her job as well. So she tried to talk Jack out of it. Jack thanked her anyway, but stopping was not an option. It didn't take long for the FBI to knock on Bobby's door. And the next thing you know, the next thing they knew, a large number of officers were sweeping Bobby's pot shop. But to their surprise, not to mention the weed, the officers didn't even find a single cigarette butt. That's when someone said there was a safe in the back. I thought I'd get some dirty money. But when they opened it, all they found was a cigar. This side of the New York gang, Andy asked the boss if he wanted to go and negotiate with Jack. After all, he was worried that there would be no return. The boss thought about it and told Andy that Jack didn't just kill people. You can just book a ticket. At the moment Jack was negotiating with Jerry, both sides had hit each other once. Neither side had gotten the better of the other. And in the time that Jack was back in New York, Jerry had been backstabbing him. This was already upsetting to Jack. And now Jerry was saying he owned Tulsa. Jack's an intruder. That doesn't mean anything to an old gangster. Jack's message was clear. If you're in the laughing gas business to your detriment. You could have told me nicely that I could have done without it. But now you're saying this is your turf. You're playing with me. Sitting on the mountain as an alliance. Sorry. No one has ever been so arrogant with me, Jack. If you're not convinced, then let's have a bout. Jerry says to Jack. You overestimate your strength. Jack says. When I make a move, you won't even have a chance to react. Next time you want to talk to me, find a place with air conditioning. With that, Jack turned around and walked away. Mickey asked Jack, is this how you always negotiate? Jack put on his sunglasses and said, I'm used to being arrogant. Back at the bar at night, Jack told the boys, we can't lose face, but blood can't be spilled for nothing. Jerry's gang was big. We're not going to take it on the chin just yet. Mid-sentence, Bobby came into the house. Jack knew he'd been taken in for questioning by the FBI. So Jack does a token search for a wire on him. Bobby said he hadn't ratted anyone out, but because the shop had been raided, so the money in the safe must be gone. Jack didn't want to tease him when he looked so desperate. Jack told Mickey to throw some bags of cash at Bobby. That's when Bobby realized that Jack had already taken the money.
Hey, don't you fucking kiss me.
Immediately afterwards, Bobby excitedly said to Jack,
Do you mind if I join you for dinner?
Please do.
Jack looked at his brothers who had been born and died. He smiled with relief. The next day Jack went to his usual place to visit the white horses that he used to walk, but the shopkeeper told him the old white horse would soon be euthanized. So Jack took the clerk and found him in a barn. And Jack bought the old white horse for $300. Whitey's horse is all stupid, not good for anything anymore. Get you on your toes. Jack then took the old white horse to the stable where Smith worked. Jack hoped that he would still be able to do a couple of laps in his old age, but Jack's old horse wasn't so relaxed. In the evening, the daughter got out of the car with the children and came home. Her husband hadn't gone more than a few steps after parking the car. He was assaulted by Peter's son. He was beaten so hard he fell over. Here Jack and Mickey are about to close the door. They were suddenly shot at. After dodging a wave of bullets, the two men rushed out with bullets in their faces. Jerry's men were out cold. Jack was forced to take them on. Well, I thought her over. You got yourself, partner. Good dear. The daughter was attacked again. Jerry's constant harassment. What should Jack do? See you next week for King of Tulsa episode 7.